F24, just found out my husband, M28, potentially did some bad things when he was younger.
He had told me before that people have tried to get him in trouble in the past, but thankfully his dad, had good lawyers. But what he did not tell me is that him and his friends assaulted girls back in college, and one of his friends is still in jail for it. And also that his ex before me accused him of physically and sexually assaulting her and ended up leaving the country, so never testifying. This all came out at New Year's Day lunch at his parents'. His dad and his sister were fighting, and the sister just put it all out in the open that their parents are always supporting him and covering for him. I'm thinking it's all true because their dad made her leave, and it was weird after that. Their mom started acting weird, like very nervous, and everybody was super quiet, like barely talking. I finally asked my husband this morning, and all he said is that if I love him then I shouldn't let his past change the way I see him. He refuses to tell me more. At this point I'm not sure if I should look into this further or act like I didn't hear anything.
I am honestly scared of finding out that he really is a bad person. We've been together for 3 years and we have 2 little ones. What would you do if you were me? Edit. For anyone reading through, please be aware of these 2 comments: https://www.reddit.com/r/relationshipadvice/comments/ruck2t/if24 just found out me husband M28 potentially /he5ozzy/ and https://www.reddit.com/r/relationshipadvice/comments/ruck2t/if24 just found out me husband M28 potentially /he66ld/. This guy has been physical with Op until a few months ago, and she blames herself for it. So please be careful with the advice you give her. Him and his friends assaulted girls back in college, and one of his friends is still in jail for it. Arg. Of course he never told you that before getting engaged/married and having kids, so that you could make an informed decision for yourself.
And also that his ex before me accused him of physically and sexually assaulting her and ended up leaving the country, so never testifying. Another punch in the gut. I finally asked my husband this morning, and all he said is that if I love him then I shouldn't let his past change the way I see him. So he basically confessed, I'd be out. If anything ever happens, you know that you're gonna have the short stick given his rich daddy. We've been together for 3 years and we have 2 little ones. 3 years isn't a lot of time at 24.
Sounds like there was a reason why he rushed into marriage and adding 2 kids. I'd start lawyering up, just to get advice for now, and reading up on loveisrespect.org, and check out u/F24's resources.
Dear Op, let me tell you, you need to leave, but you need to make a plan. He obviously and his family have money and access to sources to shield him from his bad behavior. You need to carefully document and take photos of his abuse towards you. Save up a secret account of money. Reach out to your family, if you can trust them, and tell them your plans and ways they can help. He married you young and vulnerable and naive and impregnated you quickly to trap you. Trust that those same resources his family used to shield him from rape will be used against you in a divorce and custody hearing. Secretly consult a divorce lawyer. It may take months, but you need to plan your divorce from him now. Your husband is a sexual assaulter, a rapist, and physical abuser. He put his hands on you. In a healthy relationship, that never happens, ever. And if it does, the relationship should be over. Abusers gaslight their victims into accepting their abuse as normal. It's how they get away with it. It seems that's what he's doing to you. For your own safety and mental health, you need to get as far away from him as possible. These types of abusers will always apologize and swear it will never happen again when they think they are going to lose you. They might even say that they love you. Anyone who would put their hands on their partner doesn't love them. But the cycle more often repeats itself. The only way to break the cycle is to leave. Be safe. I recently read the book, The Gift of Fear, which talks about how there's ways to predict violence, assassinations, and spousal homicide. There's basically always multiple signs and an escalation period leading up to it. His history, and the fact that he has slapped and pushed you during arguments are massive red flags. And you need to get away from him. Please take your kids with you to a women's shelter as a first step. And from there decide what to do next. This will only escalate, and the sooner you leave the better. The period right after you leave a violent spouse, the first 2 to 3 weeks, is the most dangerous, and where you're at the biggest risk of getting killed. That's why it's important to get away, and not let him know where you are. And keep in mind that restraining orders can escalate the violence, and shouldn't be seen as the ultimate protection. And to anyone else who might be reading this, if your partner has put their hands around your neck and strangled you, the next step will be to kill you. Same if they have threatened you with a gun. I really hope you'll realize the severity of your situation, and how this will affect your kids. Please get out while you can. Tell someone you trust about the violence, and tell your friends and family not to give him any information on your whereabouts. I still think the women's shelter is your best choice. If you disagree right now, I highly recommend that you read the book. Good luck. I would break up with him because of one simple fact. That is information that should be disclosed very quickly when dating someone. It isn't up to him to judge for you whether this is relevant or not. And the fact that he feels he should be able to tells me 2 things. That he hasn't accepted responsibility nor learned anything from it, and that it is far worse than you can imagine.
Has a rapist who beats you. He'll personally be moving out and hiring a PI to find out everything before using it to file for divorce. And filing for a restraining order and charges for assault and battery.
Op. You and your children are not safe. Full stop. He is sad and it makes it okay? Of course he is sad cause the facade he was building is down. Narcissists want to seem perfect. You need to leave him. If not for yourself, then for your children. He raped and abused other women. He abused you. Do you really think he will not do that to your children? Get the fuck out of that relationship immediately, Op. Oh wow. That is huge. And he's doesn't even want to come clean about it? That's the worst part. And he's making you feel guilty for even talking about it. That's messed up. Did he ever assault you before? Was he next to his parents even the conversation started? I would honestly not get past this. The fact that he hid this from you, instead of putting it on the table and giving you the choice of whether or not to be in a relationship, get married later, shows how much he's dishonest and doesn't care enough about his relationship with you to let you know. And he still doesn't want to talk about it. I'd ask for space. See if the sister has more to share. If he makes you think that you're making a big deal about this, then you gotta let him go. It is a huge deal. And trust, like a mirror, is broken. Op, please gather your close friends and family around you and get out of there with your kids. You have been and are being abused by a psychopathic rapist. If he is refusing to talk to you, that's a red flag. Big time. If he's at least willing to take accountability for his actions and own up and know he's changed, that's one thing. But it doesn't sound like it at all. And yes, I'd be willing to leave over this. Go to his sister to find out about his past. It seems that she's the only one in the family that it doesn't sit right with, so she's the most likely to tell you the truth behind it all. Honey, you have a long life ahead of you. Please do not spend it with someone who beats you, brings you down and make you feel less than. You are so young. You have your entire life ahead of you to find someone who will make you feel awesome all the time. Between 65 to 80% of female intimate partner homicide victims were previously abused by the partner who killed them, making domestic violence the single largest risk factor for intimate partner femicide. Sharps et al. 2001. Campbell et al. 2003. B. Campbell et al. 2007. Morocco. Runyon and Butts, 1998. Pataki. 1997. Quote, "If someone had told me this when I was a bit younger, it would have saved me a whole lot of misery." Please file for divorce and sole custody of your kids. Don't stay with him. If you do and he continues abusing you, he might kill you in a fit of rage. Please leave. You and your kids deserve a safe environment, and staying with your husband isn't one. When he hits you and slaps you, it's not your fault but his and his alone. Do not blame yourself. You did not cause him to hit you or slap you. If he works away from home during the day, pack as much as you can. Take your kids and leave. If he has assaulted previous partner and you, chances are that he will take out his anger on the kids as well if they make him angry. Where there is smoke, there's fire. My God, you need to leave. This is only going to get worse for you and the kiddies. I would get yourself somewhere safe. Don't tell him. Just leave when he's not home. Take the kids. Don't telephone home where you are. Turn off all social media, location services on your phone. The sister has more to say for sure. It's possible you can use her info, evidence to get full custody of your kids and get a restraining order against him. He's hit you. He's hit others. Someday, it will be your children. Sexual assault is never okay. No matter how long ago it happened. If he did not disclose that prior to marriage, then that is a major thing. I personally would leave over this. The toxicity of his parents covering for him is the final cherry on top. I honestly don't feel it's safe for you and your kids to continue being there. If he has never taken responsibility for his actions and been in intensive therapy for his behavior, then he is still a risk. You are in an abusive relationship. This is a classic example of boiling frog syndrome. The boiling frog is an apologue describing a frog being slowly boiled alive. The premise is that if a frog is put suddenly into boiling water, it will jump out. But if the frog is put in tepid water which is then brought to a boil slowly, it will not perceive the danger and will be cooked to death. You aren't perceiving the physical abuse for what it is. I can only hope and wish that you take one of these comments saying the same thing seriously. Get out. Get out as soon as possible. He is the same person as who he was.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.